capturing the cinematic brilliance and rebellious vision of Upendra through his films Upendra 1998, A and Super. Upendra, the rebel filmmaker who broke all rules. Most filmmakers make movies, but some create movements. In the world of Indian cinema, if there's one man who didn't just break the rules but tore them apart and rewrote his own, it's Upendra Rao, known to fans as Upi. He didn't enter films to entertain. He came to question shock and change the system. And he did it not once but every single time he picked up the megaphone. The rise of a rebel. Upendra began as a writer and assistant to the legendary Kashinath. But soon he started directing his own path, starting with films like Shh 1993 and Om 1995, both redefining Kannada cinema. But it was 1998's Upendra, a film he wrote, directed and starred in, that stunned Indian audiences like never before. Upendra 1998, a journey into ego, obsession and madness. This was not a hero-centric film. In fact, Upendra played the villain in disguise, a man consumed by his ego. The film didn't follow a linear narrative. It jumped timelines, broke the fourth wall, and presented a man's descent into madness in a way never seen before in Indian cinema. With dialogues that felt like philosophical attacks on the audience and scenes that challenged morality, gender norms, and societal expectations, the film made one thing very clear. Upendra was not here to play safe. He was here to burn the stage. Upendra's 1998 film questioned how men perceive women, not with respect but often with control, lust and ego. And he didn't glorify it, he exposed it. The female characters in his films were strong, layered and emotionally complex. They were never mere accessories. They were mirrors reflecting male toxicity. In an era where mass cinema was about heroes saving the day, Upendra told us that sometimes the hero is the problem. Visual storytelling, ahead of its time. Whether it was the bold color grading, bizarre camera angles, or chaotic but brilliant editing, Upendra's cinema looked like the fever dream of a genius. He didn't believe in scenes, he believed in triggers. And every frame of his film triggered something inside the viewer: anger, confusion, reflection, or transformation. Some called it madness, others called it masterpiece. But no one walked out of the theatre unaffected. Upendra wasn't just a film, it was a mirror, and not everyone liked what they saw in it. Yet it became a cult classic, a film watched, discussed, and dissected even decades later. Then came a storm called A. Before Upendra, there was another storm, A 1998. A controversial love story between a director and an actress, but layered with themes of obsession, manipulation, and trauma. This film didn't just challenge Bollywood, it shook the entire Indian film industry. With its non-linear screenplay, symbolic visuals, and a bold look at the dark underbelly of cinema, A was Upendra's way of telling the industry, you exploit actresses, sell sex, and lie to the audience, and then call it cinema? This is your mirror. To be continued in part 2, Super Philosophy and the Making of a Legend. Super Society and the Philosophy of People. Super 2010, a wake-up call disguised as a movie. After shaking up the industry with A and Upendra, Upi returned in 2010 with a film that didn't just criticize individuals, but the entire system. The film was called Super, and it presented two Indias. One, a dreamlike futuristic India in 2030, clean, powerful, respectful ideal. The other, the corrupt, chaotic, dirty reality of 2010. We love talking about how great India can become, but what are we doing to make it happen? The poster that shocked the nation. The first controversy came even before the release. Super's poster showed the Indian flag upside down. Outrage followed. People called it unpatriotic. But Upendra calmly responded, "You're angry about a poster? What about the real India, where the ideals of the flag are upside down every day?" This was his revolution, not with guns, but with ideas. A filmmaker with no fear. Super was not about special effects or heroism, it was about accountability. It exposed dirty politics, paid news, corporate greed, exploitation of farmers, the blind chase for Western validation, and Upendra didn't spare even the audience. In many scenes, he broke the fourth wall, talking directly to viewers, asking them, "You want change, but what are you willing to change?" The philosophy of Uppi: I am not a hero, I am a thought. In interviews, Upendra has often said, Don't call me a hero. I am an idea. And ideas don't die. This is his cinematic philosophy. Challenge the viewer. Break cinematic norms. Expose hypocrisy, whether in society, politics, or the film industry. And always ask uncomfortable questions. From cinema to politics, the evolution of a revolutionary, Upendra didn't stop with films. In 2017, he founded his own political party, Prajakiya, meaning people-centric politics. He said politics needed the same thing cinema needed, honesty. He refused party funding, rejected caste politics and said, "Let people lead, I'm only a messenger." Even in politics, his core remained the same. Fight corruption, demand truth, serve people. Legacy. Why Upendra is one of India's most unique filmmakers. Few filmmakers can claim to have changed the language of cinema, challenged societal norms, inspired political thought, and created philosophical blockbusters. But Upendra did. He didn't follow trends, he created them. Final shot. I am not a story, I am a question. And as long as questions exist, Upendra will live on. Upendra, the rebel filmmaker who broke all rules. Some filmmakers make movies, but a few create movements. This is the story of a man who didn't just break the rules, he burned the entire rule book. In the heart of Indian cinema, if there is one name that stands tall for raw originality, bold storytelling, and unapologetic rebellion, it is Upendra Rao, lovingly called Uppi. He didn't come to be a hero, he came to shake the system. And he did through every film, every frame, every dialogue, from assisting the legendary Kashinath to directing path-breaking hits like Shh. I know Upendra was already a rising star, but then came 1998 and everything changed. A film titled simply Upendra. He wrote it, directed it, and starred in it. This film shook Indian cinema like an earthquake. Upendra wasn't about a hero. It was about a madman, a man consumed by ego, power, and obsession. This was not just a story, it was a mirror. And Upendra held it up to society's face with no mercy. He questioned lust, power, morality, and gender roles. He didn't glorify men, he exposed their darkness. On the surface, Upendra's films seemed chaotic, but underneath was pure genius. Before Upendra, he gave us a love story between a director and an actress, but also a brutal critique of cinema's dark underbelly. Manipulation, fame, lust. He showed the price of stardom and made the audience ask, are we celebrating exploitation? This was just the beginning. The real storm was yet to come. Super society and the mind of Upendra, two Indias. One a dream, the other reality. This was Super 2010. Even before its release, the film shocked the nation. Why? Because the poster showed the Indian flag upside down. Was it disrespect or was it a brilliant metaphor? Upendra responded, if you're angry about the poster, why not be angry about how we've turned the ideals of the flag upside down in real life? Super was a bold, biting commentary on corrupt politics, fake nationalism, consumerism, and the audience's own ignorance. He didn't blame just the system, he blamed us. He asked, you want change? Then change yourself. Upendra didn't stop with cinema. He launched Prajakiya, a political movement for the people, by the people. He said, politics is not a business, it's a responsibility. He famously said, I'm not a star, I'm a question. Don't worship me, understand me. I'm not here to act, I'm here to reflect. Upendra is not just a filmmaker, he is a thought, and thoughts live forever. He didn't want followers, he wanted thinkers, and that is why Upendra is eternal.